Hello, something guys and gals. This is something guy 912. Now, I didn't expect to make a video like this, as I don't often involve myself with affairs regarding to niche internet drama to the point of making a YouTube video like this. Although, I feel morally inclined to, as I feel if I don't, it will inevitably mire the reception of my ongoing Hazbin Hotel Season 2 breakdown. So to preface, I really do not like Vivian Madrano, the fans of both Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss, and how receptive they are to criticism. That's the long and short of it, but something that always crept in the back of my mind is that for as much as I do not like them, that I will never do anything beyond the pale. That being, harass them, dox them, threaten or suggest they either get raped or killed, or try to encourage that behavior. Sure, I can be mean and rude at times, but I always knew never to cross that line or else would be a line that would come cross back at me. Whenever I would make digs at Vivienne, I would not invoke her gender, sexuality, or race into the mix, despite what many assume me to be a bigot of a queer Latina woman, their words, not mine. The farthest I would go into going at her as a person is speculate that she has daddy issues and has a fascination for yaoi fanfiction, but in those examples was me pointing out a consistent pattern in the writing of her characters from throughout both shows, so it's not entirely baseless. Needless to say, Vivienne is a public person no matter how much she hides behind blocks and blue sky, so she is worthy of discretion and criticism to a fault. And here is where Blackishhh comes into the picture. He also isn't particularly fond of Vivienne and of her show, and chose to take this personal spat he has with her to the point of no return. He had made several videos tackling Hazbin fans, the show, and her behavior, in particularly obscene ways no less, but his spiral truly started when he made a community post where he wanted his fans to draw caricatures of Vivienne Madrano. This may have been harmless, but he also noted that there was no limits to what they could do, and most rightfully took this to be that they could draw her getting raped or likewise. Blackishhh, seeing this backlash, swings every which way he can. At detractors, even people who were friendly with him but didn't like him crossing this line, to the point that he would call out particular people like Anthony Gramiglia, don't like that guy either, but that's besides the point, suggesting that they kill themselves. He even made a video about this backlash that got reported, but he re-uploaded, where he tried to whataboutism the whole affair by saying that outrage against him is hypocrisy because Vivienne has also done and said bad things in her life. I had been made aware of some other comments about Vivienne that were perplexing to me before knowing about this drama unfolding, as Hazbin fans would cherry pick these to dismiss criticism wholesale. To me, Blackishhh is controlled opposition for the people like me who want to criticize the show that now my name can be smeared as being a enabler of his behavior. What behavior, you might ask? Well, from the horse's mouth, he mentions his list of atrocities to the point that he should have known that his no limits phrasing would have been seen in a bad light. Yet, he's also inconsistent. He freely calls people niggers without muting it in his videos, yet he will mute himself calling people faggots. Now, you might have noticed that I just said two naughty words without muting either, but for me, I am saying them in the context of someone else having said it. I am not using it in a derogatory sense like he was, nor am I going to be inconsistent like he is if I were to take issue using those words in any context. Blackishhh himself, for all of his wailing about people taking his community post out of line, even had to blur several fan-made images of Vivienne that apparently went too far for him, but drawing Vivienne as some kind of Israeli defender was okay to him? When there is so much he lets slip past, especially in regards to his vitriol against all things Hazbin. Sure, he didn't explicitly tell people to draw Vivienne getting raped or what have you, but if they did, I really doubt he'd take much issue if he came across it. That is fundamentally what people take issue with, even if I would agree that Vivienne, being a niche celebrity, doesn't get immunity from being made fun of or drawn in a funny way. The ultimate takeaway that I want those particularly hateful of this fandom and Vivienne is this. If you are at a point where you can justify any kind of bad behavior towards someone because you have deemed them as ontologically evil, then you are no better than they are. If your mission is to make people reject her worldview, and her show, stooping to their level only proves you are merely jealous that they're able to get away with it. We should be better than the people we ridicule and criticize. Otherwise, what was even the point to get at them in the first place? And I especially don't want my series to have people suggesting that I'm okay with people saying that Vivienne should kill herself, or likewise, simply by association, that I and the second party do not like the show or Vivienne. Even the most wretched of people that I've come to blows with, like Synthetic Man, Hassan Piker, Ian Jamha, or Chris Chan, have I ever wished death upon them, continuous harassment or otherwise. Vivienne is no different a specimen. It's about as black and white as it gets when it comes to how I carry myself. And if it's not that black and white to Blackish, well, you are ultimately no better than the very person you want to freely spew your hate towards, then. Anyhow, that about does it for this video. I hadn't expected to release another one after the odd architecture I made, as that was supposed to be the last vid for this year, but this drama got into my sight and I knew I would have to bring it up when part 3 and 4 of my analysis of Hazbin Hotel Season 2 arrive. So hopefully there won't be any further clarification needed for those, and hope to see you next year when they arrive.